Thank you for tuning into the Art of Grace podcast, where God is creating a better you. I'm your host, your number one Grace Girl, Farah. You're watching Season 2, Episode 4. Our special guest today is none other than Rachel Michaud, CEO of Life Legacy Builders. Let's listen in. Welcome to another episode of Art of Grace podcast with your number one Grace Girl, Farah. I am so excited to have my dear friend with me here. And listen, I was so excited when I read your bio today. I've learned so much stuff about you just from your bio. So I have to read this. I've got to get better with reading people's bios versus just talking about myself. But this is going to be a really good episode. I want you to stay to the very end so that Rachel can share her platforms with you. But if you want a wealth of knowledge, please stay watching the video to the end, and we want you to share it and subscribe to the page, okay? So Rachel is here with me. Yay. So I just want to share, this is a good friend of mine who I met at an event, I think I went to Harriet's event back in February, but we met at the restaurant, Jazz Tasting, right? Yeah. And like a week before that, my husband was telling me that I need to get life insurance. I work in the private sector, and for a lot of you who know, private sector doesn't usually offer much as far as benefits, as far as life insurance, 401k and things like that. And so we were sitting next to each other, and we started talking to each other. This is why networking is important. And she shared her business card with me. I said, my God, my husband just told me that I need to get life insurance. And Rachel was super patient because I was a total dummy when it came down to all of this stuff. Okay, I can promise you that. A lot of questions. And so I just wanted to share her story with you guys today. Listen, everything I bring to you guys as far as content is to better you, and to bring you good information. So if it blessed my life, I know it's going to bless your life. So Miss Rachel, my guest today, Miss Rachel Michaud, is a true embodiment of resilience, entrepreneurship, and service. Rachel's journey began with 8.5 years of honorable service in the United States Army, stationed at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, 82nd Airborne Division. So whoop whoop for everybody who's out there serving. Thank you so much for your service. We appreciate you. Following her military service, she pursued her academic passions, earning a Bachelor's in Health Sciences Preclinical from UCF, complemented by minors in health services and administration and psychology. So now you've totally taken the whole beaten path. You've gone like a totally different direction as I'm reading this right now. I'm like, wow. But Rachel's quest for knowledge didn't stop there. She also graduated from EMT and Phlebotomy school, expanding her skill set in the medical field. Inspired by her commitment to holistic living, Rachel ventured into entrepreneurship, founding Glamour Blvd, a vegan hair care line for natural hair enthusiasts. So that's all of us girls, right? Her dedication and innovation led to exciting vending partnerships with prestigious events like Essence Fest, Curlfriends and Vegan Street Party, to name a few. Today, Rachel continues her mission of service as a life insurance broker, empowering individuals to secure her financial futures through strategic life insurance, retirement plans, and annuities. Join us as we delve into Rachel's remarkable journey and glean insights into building a legacy of impact and prosperity. Wow. I mean, what do I say right now? I can't believe that this little girl served in the military. That's my first thing. I mean, when she came in my house today, before we started recording, I was like, military? You didn't even let on that you did that. I mean, why are you hiding that? That's my first question. I mean, you're not hiding it.
Yeah. I mean, I went to college, or I started college here in Florida, and I decided, it wasn't for me right now, so I just decided to go that path, knowing that the military would pay 100% of my college tuition. So I just went that route, and
debt free.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing there. Yep. And I hear that a lot of people, they join the military for those, for those same qualities and stuff. Yep. And so but you did it for 8.5 years. I mean, you took it serious.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people go in and they're like, this is not for me, So, but was it, so in that season, was it for you, or was it, I have to do this because I don't have the finances?
That was the reason, yeah.
Okay.
I don't have the finances, and the military has a lot of great benefits, like health care, schooling, and all that. So I decided I'll just try this route.
Yeah. And you haven't thought about being a recruiter?
No.
Okay. It's funny because me and my son were just talking about this. His best friend is thinking about doing like the reserve, and but a lot of it, they talk about the money aspect of it, and I know that more comes with that. But do you think that was a part of where you are now, leading you into finances, as we're talking about that? I mean, I just got that as I was asking you that question, like starting with finances and now you're ending with finances.
Yeah, and that wasn't the plan. It just kind of happened like that.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. So what did your family think about you joining the military?
They were definitely against it.
Yeah, I could imagine.
because it's like, well, you're going to war, but
yeah,
but they came to get used to it, and everything was fine.
Good. And she's safe. She did a few deployments, which is incredible.
Yes.
I was just sharing with Rachel before we started recording that I thought about joining the military. I would have retired probably 10 years ago if I had joined, but at the time, that's when the Gulf War was starting, and my grandfather was like, no. Sergeant Ruffin was his name. I went to, I told you, up in New Jersey and Fort Hamilton base, and it wasn't for me. I guess that my life took another path.
Yeah.
So what motivated you to pursue a career in financial services industry? What made you want to get into that?
Well, it was my friend. She got me a policy, actually. She's been trying to get me to get life insurance for probably 3 years.
Okay.
But because I didn't understand it, I didn't have any knowledge or education about it, because that's just something our community don't really speak about.
Yes.
So I wasn't educated on it, so I thought, well, I don't think I'm going to die now. I think that's what a lot of people think, but that's far from it, So so finally, 3 years later, I decided, okay, I'll go ahead and do it. So I did it. I had my policy maybe for like 6 months, and she kept asking me or encouraging me that you should be a life insurance agent.
Wow.
And I told her I didn't want to do that. Because, a lot of people don't go to school saying, oh, I want to be a life insurance agent. I want to do this. So I decided to do it, and I've been doing it ever since for about 1.5 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel like you have to have a lot of heart for it, because I know how many questions I have for you, and I know that you have so much patience, and I mean, it just showed how uneducated we are in this area.
Yes.
And, so is it important for me? Why am I waiting until my age to get it? And, you walk me through that process of why it's really important now, because, I mean, that goal that I have set is really hard to reach where I am now at my age.
Yeah. So,
like my son's in here recording with us today, and I mean, he's a great age to start to know the importance of it and how he can build his wealth and his legacy.
Yes.
So how do you build client relationships?
Well, kind of like how we met, just going out and being natural with it, like just having conversations, getting to know the person.
Gotta be a people person.
Yeah.
And
actually, I was a total introvert. I didn't like talking to people until I joined.
But you spoke to me first.
I know. I think the company did something to me as far as that. And I was in the Army, so you would have thought I would have been more extroverted and outspoken, but I'm not. I'm very reserved and introverted by nature, but I'm coming out of my shell and speaking more, because I realize it's not about me. I need to help people. So in order to help people, I need to speak to people.
You do.
So I figured, I'll just start talking to people, networking, and that's where it all starts.
I think that this is so funny that she's saying that she doesn't talk, right? Because like 2 weeks from now, and we'll share this at the end of the podcast, and we're going to also share it on our platforms, but me and Rachel will be co-hosting an event with Dr. Harriet Roberson with a women's networking event, and we will definitely be posting about that. I've been sharing it with all of my friends. It's been all over the platforms, and Rachel's going to be the keynote speaker. So how do you feel about that? Because when Harriet asked me, I didn't know that you were going to be on there too, and I said this was perfect to match me and her together on this event.
Yeah, I'm excited because I'll be teaching people, educating people on something I felt like I should have been educated about years ago.
Yeah.
So part of that gives me comfort, okay, it's fine. I know the stuff, I know the information, so I'll just share what I know.
Exactly.
And just put any fear or whatever I have behind.
You got to put it behind you. So speaking about relationships, how did you bring it back to your family? Because if we didn't learn it from our families, how do you then take that information and say, hey mom, let's talk about this? I mean, maybe your mom did have life insurance, or a minimal, that minimal one.
They did have it, but they didn't have the things that they should have had in it. So being that I'm in this industry now, I was able to educate them, and they said the same thing, I'm not going to die anytime soon. And see, that's just I guess how we were programmed. What we're programmed to believe. Well, if you get life insurance, I'm going to die. But it's not death insurance, it's life insurance.
It's life insurance.
The first word is life. So you can use it while you're living. So I was able to bring it home and switch their insurance policy that they had, because they didn't have what was sustainable for them.
Okay. Yeah, because that was one of the things that Rachel taught me, was that if something happens to me now, and I'm not dead, okay, that I would have monies to live. Like I'll have something to live off of. So, I can't depend on just having that weekly paycheck, that monthly paycheck. That I needed something else to sustain me. And, yeah, we might have savings, some of us, and some people don't have savings either. Nope. So my mindset was, okay, I'll set up, savings to get me through like 3 to 6 months. But then what happens when that's out? And that's what me and you talked about. So I'm so happy that we discussed that. Yeah. How do you stay updated on industry trends and changes in the financial industry? Because we see so many things on television, so many bait and switch type of things, so many, salesy things, or oh, I got a good idea thing, So how do you speak to that?
Well, my company, they are very abreast on, the knowledge and information that they have, and I feel like we're overtrained. So we always know what's going on, the latest news, so that we're aware, because the financial industry, it doesn't crash. You've never heard it crashing. Real estate, you'll hear that crash, or other industries, but you'll never hear the financial service industry crashing, because it's recession proof, it's pandemic proof, it doesn't crash. So we stay pretty knowledgeable and educated on things that are current.
Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome. I was thinking about something else to ask you, but it'll come back to me. What type of life insurance would clients need? Because that was a question that I had, or you kind of had to tell me that. You asked all the questions about me, my age and where I'm at, what's my debt, if something were to happen, how would I make it? And then you took that information and,
so it depends. It depends. And the way we do life insurance, we design it in such a way it fits your needs, your family's needs, your kids' needs. So we don't just tell you, well, this is you, this is the type of policy you need. We design it, we get to know you as a client better, and then we just figure out a plan that better suits you and your family.
One of the things that Rachel walked with me through, and I can be honest with this, is like my health is everything to me now. Like, so I was just getting on a better health regimen, and that all affected the life insurance premium. Like, I don't have a major illness, but having a little pain can cause it to be more, because they can look into your health, your medical records and everything. And I didn't know anything about that. I just thought that, you see these commercials, $20,000, $50,000, and it doesn't work like that.
Right, and that's why I always encourage people to get it while they're younger. The younger, the healthier you are, the lower the premium. So my nieces and nephew, I got them some policies, and it's like $20 a month. So when they're like 50, 60 years old, the premium is fixed. So it's going to stay like $20. It's not going to go up to like $60 just because they're older. So
I think it's great that you said that, because I think that what happens is that as adults, we think that the insurance just should be for us getting it and not for our children. So you're saying that for our children, we should have that as well. Well, and not the Gerber plans from one that you get in the mail, because that's been around forever.
It has. But the thing with the kids policies, you can still cash benefit. There's a cash value benefit, and that still grows in there, so they can use it for college, they can use it for whatever they want. It's not only when they pass away.
That's amazing. I know I've got to get something for my grandkids now that you just said that. And then my son, I want to make sure he has some good life insurance. What factors influence the cost of life insurance? And we kind of talked about that a little bit just now.
So the two things I would say is age and your health. Because they do look at your health records. So, just to make sure, but we work with over 100 carriers, so we could always call them beforehand, do a risk assessment to see, hey, would you take this client with what he or she has going on? And they'll tell us yay or nay. And we'll go from there. So
what happens when people do they give you misinformation? They don't want to share too much information? Because I try to be as honest with you guys as possible. I feel like I put down everything, but then there was some questions I said, I forgot to mention that. And it wasn't because I was trying to hide it. It's just I didn't even think that it would be necessary to me getting a policy.
Absolutely. So we, like, for example, I had a client, and she said she's not taking any medication or anything, and so it came back that she was taking medication, and I asked her, I was like, are you sure you're not taking any medication? And she said no. So then I changed the question, have you been prescribed any medication that maybe you're not taking? And she had like 5 or 6 bottles. I was like, oh, okay.
And that same thing happened to me. I think Rachel had said something to me about medications. I'm like, I don't even know what that is. I'm like, what? I got a disease? I don't even know what this medication is. Did they mix me up with somebody else? And I said, oh yeah, I did get that prescription like last year. And you know, sometimes we take medications for a season or just even for a couple of weeks, and we have it in our cabinets, and we just totally forget about it.
Yeah.
Don't even know the names of it or what, you know, what the medical term for it is.
Exactly.
So knowing what these medical terms are, that's something that you might want to look into. So how do you speak to these commercials that say, no, you know, you don't have to worry about getting a policy because we don't check into your, your current, conditions? Because I see those commercials all the time.
Yeah, I think it's just a way for them to get clients, but
it's just a phishing technique and stuff like that.
Definitely.
So you think that the networking is better, getting out and talking to people.
Yeah.
And now, what about clients calling into you? I mean, do you get a lot of referrals? Or?
Yeah, I would get a lot of referrals because I would reach out to people because believe it or not, a lot of people need what we have.
Okay.
Maybe they don't realize it or don't know it, but a lot of people are actually looking for life insurance. So yeah.
Like me, I was looking for it and I was dragging my feet on it, and so I guess God said, okay, I'm going to sit her next to somebody at a party in a restaurant, and we started having this conversation about life insurance, and then we connected right away. And I want that to also, we also talked about finances. So we talked about the 401k, that little 401k that I'm putting into, right?
Yeah.
And so Rachel wants to start working with me on, she explains about annuities and things like that. And these are things that I never talked to anybody about. We just thought about banking and saving our money as a way of making money, and I'm not making any money that way.
And another thing with getting people to get life insurance, a lot of them don't even know where to go.
Yes.
So that's why it's important for people like us to be the family's representative, to be the community's representative, so they could know where to go. Because when you go, when you drive around, you see a lot of fast food restaurants, a lot of buildings, a lot of different buildings, but you don't really see life insurance buildings.
You don't.
And that's important.
You don't at all. And so what do you do with people who are so adamant against a life insurance? So I'm being totally transparent right now, okay? Because my husband's not home right now. He's going to watch this video. He's going to see this whole thing. I talk about him in my videos all the time. But me and Rachel were talking a couple of weeks ago when I got my policy, and he's like, well, why'd you have to get that type of policy? There's a cheaper one. And she was trying to explain to him through me that, about the living benefits.
Yes.
So okay, let's speak to people who have that sense of, I don't need that much.
Okay. Yeah. So a lot of people get term policies. They get it because it's affordable. However, it does lapse. So people can get a term policy for 10, 20, or 30 years, and it could only be like $30 a policy for $500,000 worth of coverage. So it's very affordable. However, it's only beneficial if you pass before the 10, 20, or 30 years. But nowadays, a lot of people are living longer, so it's not that beneficial,
Okay.
But, accidents happen.
So you're paying into it for this 30 years, and then there could be a risk of it just being canceled?
Yes.
And then you have to restart this plan, and then you have to pay way more.
Way more, because now you're older, maybe you're more unhealthier, so, it doesn't benefit people. So, and it doesn't include living benefits and long-term care. And living in the state of Florida, the long-term care to put someone in a nursing home, and it doesn't only have to be elders, because I used to work in a nursing home and I would have young clients, young patients, because maybe they were born with a birth defect and their parents can't take care of them, or you develop an autoimmune illness. I had a patient, she was 39, she was young, and at that age she developed an autoimmune illness, and her parents couldn't afford to take care of her, so they put her in a nursing home. Or somebody can get in a car accident and you become, almost completely disabled, so they'll put you in a nursing home. When people think of nursing home, they think, oh, it's just for the older people, but it's not. So, and to put someone in a nursing home in the state of Florida, it's $120,000 annual, because the insurance is not going to pay for it.
That's
So it's very pricey. So unless you have a lot of money, you can't just do that, and most Americans don't. They don't even have 3 to 6 months of savings saved up.
Yeah, I mean, right now, you see people don't really have a month.
Exactly.
Because of, where the economy is. We can see that. We have faith that we're going to get through it. But, speaking to everybody, I think, who's listening, this is really important. So with the living benefits, you were just talking about that. So the length of time that we can be on these policies and have a living benefit, is it like just for a certain length of time? Somebody who's in a nursing home, is it like a cap to that with these policies?
No, so as long as you have the life insurance policy, it's with you for life.
Yes.
If you don't have a term policy. So the living benefits is until you're age 121 years old.
Wow.
So you have terminal illness, chronic illness, critical illness, and now Alzheimer's illness, because that's becoming more prevalent. A lot of people, younger people, are getting, or I would say like in the 40s, even 50s, are getting Alzheimer's illness.
That is so crazy. It's the stuff that we're eating, you know, speaking about the vegan, you know, the vegan stuff that you just want, the hair care and, you know, how you're eating now. How does that correlate with the life insurance industry? You know, with people getting so sick and stuff. Is it hard for people to get life insurance because of that? If they can't afford it, like if they have all these illnesses and ailments and things?
It is more challenging, but there are a lot of carriers that we work with that will even give you a policy if you've had cancer, but the cancer would have had to been dormant for maybe like 5 or 6 years. So you can still get it, and depending on the medications that you're taking too, you're looked at as higher risk. So you may not get it, you know,
so you can be denied for a policy.
Yes, a lot of people, a few people are uninsurable because of their previous health history and the medications that they're taking.
So I mean, I wanted to put that out there because I know that I don't want you guys calling Rachel and getting in her ear, you know, because I mean, like she said, you can't be denied altogether. I mean, I wasn't denied a policy, but I've gotten my health under control so that way I can live longer, and then that way I can have a premium that's not killing me, you know, and stuff. But just getting people to understand that the cheaper policies may not have all that you need. I know that some people look at policies as like, you know, it can pay off my house, maybe my funeral, but then what about your family, right? So you kind of explained that to me. So can you speak to that?
Yeah, so when we have like, when you have the cash value benefits and the living benefits, it does help your family because, you know, they'll have money to pay for your funeral. Then there's the mortgage protection. They don't have to worry about, well, what am I going to do with this house, you know, that they left me with? But that's the point of the policy. It can help with that too. Yeah,
which is important because I live in the city of Sanford. I love my city, and I see so many older homes around me in the like the outer communities, and people lose their homes because they leave them to family members who don't have any knowledge of a house, and they lose it to lots of times taxes and things like that. And we want to leave our kids something. I mean, we can hope that they're not going to squander it, but, and you know, we don't want to leave them with debt to pay for a funeral and things like that. And believe me, in the African American community, we see that a lot. You know, people passing away, and then there's GoFundMes because they can't afford a funeral.
Exactly.
You know,
so I always talk about that too. Like,
so
I do that.
So what do you think about that? I mean,
I think it's well,
because it speaks to us having life insurance for our kids and not knowing what's going to happen to them. And so, okay, me as a parent, I'm not the only one who should have it. What if something happens to my child?
Exactly, and that's why it's important. I always encourage people to not only get life insurance for you, but also get it for your kids as well. Because people aren't educated on life insurance, and that is why GoFundMe goes popular for all the wrong reasons. So,
absolutely. So, with getting life insurance for a child, can a grandparent get it for their grandchild?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, because I mean, I know that as grandparents, you know, we probably love our grandkids. We love our kids. My daughter send me videos and memes all the time of like, you know, the grandma spoiling the grandkid, and like, you didn't do that for us. And so, you know, for me, I want my grandchildren to be protected as well. Gosh, I mean, there's so much that comes with that. I mean, there's so much that I still don't know, you know, and I wish my husband was here so me and Rachel could have kind of got him to sit down and talk a little bit more about life insurance, because I think I told you he's been following, like, you know, a lot of people write books and things like that. So what do you say to people who they're internet savvy or they're internet driven when it comes to life insurance? How do you compete with that?
Well, I would just have them check their sources, because not everyone that's on social media like have a degree in or, you know, a license and a professional in a certain topic. People are just on social media acting like they know what they're talking about, but they really don't.
Oh my gosh. I mean, have you seen something happen with people where they thought they might have had a policy and they didn't?
Yeah, and that's the thing with life insurance policies. A lot of people don't know what they have. So that's why I just suggest, you know, talk to your financial advisor or your life insurance agent, or get a second opinion. But everyone should know what they have, because I've talked to a few clients in the past, and they don't know what they have. They just know they have life insurance, so they think they're covered, and they don't even have living benefits or long-term care. and most of the time they have a term policy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking to a coworker because when I was talking to you, because I think I had you on Zoom in my office, and she was saying that she had life insurance through her car company. Oh. So what do you think about those? Because I get stuff in the mail like from my car company, my car insurance, and like from my bank. You know, these policies. I mean, people probably sign on those things.
Yeah,
really
it's
easily.
True. Because I would get them in the mail as well. Like, get life insurance at this rate, but you know, being that I'm in this profession, I know exactly that, you know, it's not going to have living benefits. It's just going to be very inexpensive, so it's not worth much.
What do you think, how much do you think these things end up turning out to be for $20 a month?
Oh, not at all.
Probably $5,000, maybe.
Probably, if
maybe. That. And we know $5,000 does not go a long way. It really goes a long way throughout the month. With us paying our mortgages and buying food for our families. And so, you know, this is something that we need to be knowledge. You know, we need to just dig deeper. We can't just keep going. We can't keep going in life and, you know, repeating history and having these cycles because our parents didn't teach us. I mean, there's so much that I wish I would have stayed home longer. I wish that, you know, I would have saved some more money. Like, you know, I know that people kind of push their kids out of the house like at 18 years old, but you know, what about setting them up for success? Right. To save money, to learn these things, to be more knowledgeable, to own property, you know, and to have something to fall back on. Right. So let's see here. So can a client change their coverage amount in the future? So like if they get a policy from you?
Yeah, they can. So if they wanted to increase it, they can do that. The premium would of course be a little higher, but it's gonna be, so they don't have to like redo like health or anything like that. So it's just going to be at the health level that you were at previously. But they definitely can. So do you have to provide why you want to increase it? Can it be because I want to have more coverage for my home or whatever it is? Because a lot of times most people are really underinsured. Yes. They think, okay, just because I have this amount of policy, that's enough. But if you do the numbers, most people are really underinsured. And do the math. So what are some of the things that we should be looking at before we give you that number? Well, it could be the amount of debt that you have. Okay. Your income times 10. Got it. If you have a mortgage. Wow. And like student loans, like education. Okay. Wow. Add those numbers up. That's huge. Because so with my car notes, credit cards, if you have those, I try to steer clear. I mean, I do use credit cards, but I try to pay them right off. Yeah. Mortgage, let's see, what else? Funeral, I think things like that. Or no, you don't add that stuff in there. I mean, right? You just the basic stuff that you know you don't want to leave on your family. Yeah. You know, per se. Yeah. Because that stuff doesn't go away when you pass away. No, exactly. That's why I encourage people to get life insurance because you're not only helping yourself but your family as well. Yeah, yeah. And I mean, my goal is to pay off my home sooner than not, so that way whatever life insurance monies I would have can go to my family and not to the house itself. Right. You know, but you said 10 times your salary. Mortgage, again, car if you have that. Education, because people still have student debt. Yeah. I mean, how do we speak to that right now? Well, I mean, I know previous presidents would talk about like loan forgiveness, but you know, I guess we're still waiting on that. Yeah, yeah. And so you've pivoted into this career. So you think, what do you want to expand in this career? Because I know you've had some great coaches. Because I think that I talked to one with you on the phone one day, and she was incredible. Yeah. Who were some of your favorite coaches? Maybe some of your favorite people who've written books on this. And then where do you want to go with this? Well, Patrick Bet-David, who is our CEO of this company, I definitely want to follow in his footsteps. Okay. Our Vice President, Jonathan Mason. Okay. My senior brokers, Dean and Fernanda. There's, I could go on forever, but we have like so much amazing mentorship and coaching, and you know, just like they're developing leaders, I want to do the same. You know, like just duplicate myself. Well, you know? I think you've already been doing that, because I think that when I met you, and one of them is sitting in here right now, Dominique. She's sitting behind the camera today. We're going to get her on camera the next time. But we're going to talk about Jacksonville, Duval. That's what our podcast is going to be on. We're going. I don't know what's about that. That's going to be a show. Can I tell y'all going to want to tune into that show, the Dominique Hour, because we're going to do a good one. But she's behind the scenes, and she's a developing financial, person as well. And sitting with these young girls, young African American girls, speaking on this, it blew my mind. I was so inspired. And so you're helping them along as well. Yeah. And I mean, she's incredible with the social media, because I know she uses social media. We can use social media while it's free right now, guys. Yes. Use it while it's free, please.
But I love that, it's like, you're going to take one behind you. And then they should be doing the same, paying it forward, know, because you're paying forward. It took me, I am 51 years old and I'm just getting life insurance. It makes no sense. I've had to do work a few times here and there, but to have something solid that I can say, okay, I can sleep at night if something happens.
And I'm glad you brought that up. When I ask some people if they have life insurance, they say, oh yeah, I'm good, I have it through work.
Yes.
But it's most likely a group life insurance and it's a term policy. So
it's a term policy as well.
Benefits,
So tell us the difference between the term and the life, because people are going to want to know what that looks like.
Yeah, so with the term, with work or in general?
In general, so that people understand, because I think that people don't understand the term, right? And the whole living benefits thing.
Yeah, so with the term policy, that just lasts 10, 20, and 30 years. No living benefits, no long-term care or anything like that. Whole life, that is a permanent policy. I would recommend that for entrepreneurs and business owners because, you have the cash flow benefits and it's tax-free. However, when the insured pass away, the cash that's been growing in there, it goes back to the insurance company, and a lot of people don't know that. But the death benefit, however, it does go to the beneficiary.
Got it.
And with the Index Universal Life, which is my personal favorite, the cash benefit that's been growing in there, it goes back. It goes to the family as well as the death benefit once the insured dies. Wow. So there are differences.
That's amazing. Because I didn't know anything about any of them at all, and so learning this has really enlightened me. I'm going to talk to my daughters about getting life insurance, and definitely my neighbors and community because it's important. So these are conversations. These are conversations that I like to have. I know that we like to sit around and have girl talk, but that's why I love the networking events because we really talk business. In between girl time, we're also talking about business. I've met so many amazing women within the networking groups that we have. I've been invited to so many different ones. I'm going to one next week. It's going to be a sponsored movie, movie where we go every year. And then we all get together for dinner afterwards, and then we network. It's just another way for us to bond and to come together.
Yes. And one more thing about the group life insurance. Oftentimes when you leave that job or if you get fired, that life insurance goes away. So a lot of people think they get to keep it, but they really don't.
So you might have put money into it from out of your pocket.
Yeah, from your paycheck. Every month they take it out, but you don't get to keep it.
I had no idea of that. So one of our last questions for today is how do you handle rejections from clients during the sales process? Because it is a sales job, and so that's why when I see people doing sales job, because I feel so guilty about this, right? Because I work in dentistry and we have salespeople coming in all the time, and I try to be nice to them, but some days I'm like, I don't want to talk to you, and I know that can be rough.
Yeah,
it's a faith walk.
Yeah, it is. It is, but you can't really force people to get what they don't understand or what they don't know about. So I'll just move on to the next client.
Yeah.
I'm not like a pushy salesperson.
Yeah, it's kind of, you put the information out there, and it's like, they'll come to you if they need you.
Right, and that's happened several times. It's like you planted the seed, and then oftentimes when they do come to you is on their own or when something happens, and we don't like that, but
Exactly. So right now, you're going to continue to grow with this, right? What if someone's watching today who wants to get into this industry? What information could you give them? Maybe a young person, do they have to have certifications, a college, certificate or a college degree? What do they need to get into this industry?
Well, if they want to get into this industry, they have to be at least 18 years old. And we actually get 18 years old, 19, 20-year-olds. So it's amazing to me because I'm like, wow, if I was at that age and coming into this industry, wow, that would have been amazing. But I like seeing younger people come in because their mindset is already there, But you have to be 18 years old. You do have to be licensed in whatever state you are because you are selling life insurance. So you can't even talk about it if you don't have a license. So
it's like a real estate license almost. You have to take testing for it.
Exactly. It's very similar to real estate. However, we're half the cost and less, so it's not as expensive.
And then you're not getting all this debt from a college degree right now. So I'm not saying don't go to college. I'm just saying that this is another way to pivot. I love the newer generation, and for those who are wanting to change careers, because right now we can do it without having to go back to school in some senses, and then having people like Rachel to pull you alongside to show you the ropes. I think that's the best way to develop.
Yes, and people in this industry are literally making or earning 5, 6, 7 figures not only a year, but a month.
Wow.
Yes, it's very lucrative.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. So you can make a living out of it.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Because I know with everything that there's risk, and so you have to think about, am I going to be able to pay my bills this month and things like that. Yeah. But you're able to do it.
Yes.
So now outside of all of that, because I want to jump into some other little areas before I let Rachel go. Rachel also has some YouTube channels. I'm going to have her talk about those because I've subscribed to her channel with that. So I want you to talk about that. And then I love the one you have with the book reading. My grandkids, when they come over, I put that on for them. It's so amazing.
Yeah, so I have my Rachel's Read Aloud YouTube channel where I read books to children all over the world.
For teachers who are watching, pull up on Rachel's page in your classroom and put it on for the kids.
Yeah, I would have my sister, she's a teacher, she puts it on in her classroom. My other sister, she's a principal, she puts it in, have the teachers put it in their classroom. So it's pretty amazing. That's one channel. And then I have Glamour Blvd, which is my vegan hair care line, and I do hair tutorials, washing my hair, stuff like that.
That's the kind of stuff I like, because you guys know I change my hair up all the time. I'm a big crochet girl. I don't do wigs, so I feel like it's going to come off my head. For you wig girls, y'all can do it, but I cannot do a wig. I just always like it's going to pop off my head. Yes. I had a not a sew-in last week. I had a quick weave, horrible. Oh, wow. Will never do that again. I've done it in the past and did it recently, and I'm like, I can't scratch my scalp. All that doggone glue, so no. So check out Rachel's channel, because Black girls, we love some hair tutorial videos. We love those. Yeah. And also, just to share with you all, on June the 14th, I'm gonna let you share about that, because Rachel's gonna be the keynote speaker there. Yes. Thank you, Dr. Harriet.
Yes, thank you. So yeah, we will be having an event on June 14th where I will be speaking on financial freedom, being your own bank, and building generational wealth. Yeah.
That's awesome. Being your own bank, you hear that? Mm-hmm. It's taken me a long time to get that, Rachel. I know that there's seasons of things, and I know that I'm doing it right now, but don't feel bad if you're not there yet. Just try and start. Yes. Just, I know that, I think I thought about this when we talked about my premiums, is maybe doing a little bit of extra hours at work, or, getting another little job just to pay for all the things I need on the side. We don't want to work ourselves to death, but if this is to benefit you, like, we gotta have these little hot side hustles, in order to make it, where we want to make it.
Absolutely.
So share your platforms where people can find you.
Yes, I'm on Instagram at Insured with Rachel. I'm also on Facebook, Rachel Michaud, and I am on what else?
YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube.
Yes.
YouTube. Don't forget my YouTube channels.
Yes.
Rachel Michaud, Rachel's Read Aloud, Glamour Blvd.
And listen, so everything that Rachel just mentioned is going to be inside the description, so you can definitely find her there. We're going to invite you out to the next event on June the 14th with Dr. Harriet Roberson. We love you. She's the Kingdom Connector. She's amazing. For the ladies who are watching today, and maybe some of the men who are watching, share with your wives. And also, ladies, I want to encourage you to network, because I would have never met Rachel if I didn't network. I know that networking is difficult, and let me just take that little definition and just tell you, it's making new friends. Yeah. So networking sounds really businessy, but it really isn't, because we now have friendships, we have sisterhoods together, and we're learning from each other. And so I'm so appreciative of the opportunity. And we want you to gain more and more and more. So please follow us on our platforms. We will be posting a whole lot of good events that's coming up that you can get out and share, and connect with some other women. You don't have to have a business to come either, because people hear networking, they think business. Right. You don't have to have a business. You can just be you. Just be you. Just come connect, gain some new friends and some sisters. Make some new connections, and you may just be coming to see if it's a service. Because when I go to these events, people have hair care, beauticians, financial advisors. It's just so many marketers, digital people, everything. All these women come to these events, and I want to support them. And so my biggest thing is supporting Rachel. So please support her. Hit the platforms up. You know me. You guys know where to find me at. You can find Rachel through my Facebook page as well, because I've been talking about her a whole lot. And we can't wait to see you. Hopefully we'll see you at the next event. All right. So until the next time, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for supporting the Art of Grace podcast. We're going into our second year. Thank you so much for sharing. And I love the feedback, whether it's good or bad. I appreciate you all. And until the next time, we love you. And we'll see you next time. Art of Grace Ministries, where God is creating a better you. Did you enjoy today's episode? Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Art of Grace podcast. June 14th, 2024, come out to Spring Into Action Women's Networking Fellowship. If you want to hear more from Rachel, myself, or Dr. Harriet Roberson, we would love to see you. Details will be in the description box. Again, thank you so much for tuning in to the Art of Grace podcast. Until next time.